All right, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. While yet a fourth quote unquote suspect, another black man, has been arrested in the Cincinnati quote unquote brawl, the Cincinnati police have just admitted basically that they are not going to arrest the white man who started the brawl. Now I'm going to play you the news clip, and it is completely unbelievable on what the chief said. We're going to point that out. But also at that same press conference, the Reverend Damon Lynch called them out about arresting the black people, but letting the white people go free, while at the same time you're talking about violence of any kind won't be tolerated. Just watch this news clip and you're going to understand what I'm saying. And also, this is fair use, using this video for commentary and literary purposes only. But check this out. This is unbelievable.
Tonight in the downtown Cincinnati fight and attack, almost a full week later, the story continues to spark national conversations about racial tension and violence. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Cherie Palello.
And I'm Mike Dardas. 4 people now in custody. 37-year-old Dominique Kittle is the latest to be charged with felony assault and aggravated rioting. So this comes as a room full of Cincinnati city leaders today taking questions about the fight. And tonight, we've actually obtained new video showing how it escalated, sparking more questions about who's responsible for the chaos.
WLW18 News News' Rachel Whalen was at today's news conference. She's breaking down the new video for us tonight. Hi, Rachel.
Well, the big question still remains, Mike and Cherie, what started this horrific fight? Cincinnati police say it's still under investigation, but they did pull back the curtain a little bit, revealing new details about the investigation, who's been charged, and who could still face consequences. Mayor Aftab Piraval and Police Chief Terry Thigi stood side by side with community leaders.
It was an act of violence that shook us all. Let me be clear, every single person who played a role in that attack will be held accountable.
Thigi confirmed 6 victims were involved, 5 men and 1 woman. 6 suspects are so far have been arrested. Faith leader Pastor Damon Lynch wants all the key players in the brawl to face consequences.
When I see the mugshots, I only see people who look like me.
Pastor Lynch referring to this video obtained by WLWT tonight. It was recorded by Marvin C. Bennett, who runs LT's gym. He says he was producing content for his business when the chaos erupted. It shows a white man, then several other people join in. Eventually, the brawl spilling out into the street at 4th and Elm, where some of the victims were punched and kicked while they were down. This new video has led to a lot of questions about whether the white man behind the slap is also a suspect. I asked city leaders directly. Well, the man that Pastor Lynch was talking about, who made the slap that you could see on some of the cameras on social media, will he be facing charges?
We are actively investigating him. We take all violence very seriously. As I mentioned, I expect more charges and more arrests.
They spoke to his counsel before they went down to see him, and the counsel said no. He did not want the police talking to his client. So therefore, we have not had a conversation with him yet.
Now, Cincinnati police have said time and time again that social media does not paint the full picture. That's why we filed a records request asking for more footage of the incident. But Cincinnati police says their cameras did not capture the fight. But Chief Thigi did say today that she may release additional footage sometime next week. So we'll be sure to keep you updated. I'm reporting live in Cincinnati. Rachel Whalen, WLWT.
All right, let's stop it right there. I could have stopped it as soon as the police chief said that they spoke to his counsel and his counsel said no. So we are not going to have a conversation with him. I wonder how many of those black people had the privilege of saying, okay, well, no, talk to my lawyer before you can arrest me. Right? She literally said everyone who was in that, every single person who was in that situation would be arrested. It is obvious that that man hit somebody. So why do you get to talk to his lawyer first? And his lawyer tells you no. The same police that rounded up all the black people, you have to go through his lawyer and get permission to talk to him, not arrest him, but talk to him. Why is it you're using the camera footage to arrest all the black people? You've identified all of them, and you had no problem with arresting them. I don't think any of those black people counsel had to be consulted before they were arrested. This is what we're saying with the system of racism. That white man, call him Russian, whatever, that means white in America. This man gets to tell the police no, and they back up like he got the plague or something. Man, I can't believe, once again, you can't make this up. This is what we mean by privilege. This man is caught on tape slap, and shout out to the girl Waylon. The girl Waylon, look, the white man who did the slap. Will he be prosecuted too? And then the mayor comes up. Well, I'm not sure what he investigated him. So you actively investigated the other people. What more needs to be investigated? Y'all let me know. But this, once again, this is the definition of racism: the ability of one group to do things and be protected by the system, while another group is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. No conversation with to deny conversation. They said, well, we haven't had a conversation with him. Why do you need to talk to him? We have it on tape. And then she tries to justify it, saying, well, the tape doesn't show everything, and we're going to release more footage. The tape shows him committing an act of violence. That is what the issue is. And shout out to the Reverend. Watch my brother Damon Lynch. He's going to break this down. I'm going to show you his full speech. It's only about 2 minutes, but I was wanting to focus on what he said. But when I saw this video, I'm like, are you kidding me? Does anybody not see the double standards? This guy is allowed to have his counsel tell the police, no, you can't arrest him. Basically what he's saying. No, go to his house. Where is he at, lawyer? Tell us where he at, or we're going to charge you with harboring a fugitive, because we have him on tape committing an act of violence, just like all the other black people on tape that you have rounded. That article started off with 4 black people on the scene. So, I mean, y'all, once again, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I've had a few calls from white people disagreeing, but I had some calls from white people saying, yeah, that's wrong. That guy should be arrested as well. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. But listen to the Reverend Damon Lynch real quick.
Thank you, Mayor, and to all of us gathered, to the chief, the sheriff, the council members. I agree, and I'm excited to stand with the mayor and others saying that safety has to be the #1 priority in our city. Across our city, every social demographic wants to live in a safe city. And in saying that, let me address briefly the racializing and politicizing of this event that happened this past weekend. We would not be here, and this would not be national news. This would not be national news. This was a group of black people that jumped on other black people. It would not be national news if it happened in Montgomery Inn and somebody beat down 2 elderly white people. But obviously it's national news because it's been racialized. So let's walk back. For those who want to racialize this, it was a fight that took place. It was a black man and a white man, one-on-one. They were facing each other, and no punches were thrown. A kick was tried that didn't land. And for those who want to racialize it, then a black man stepped in between the combatants, separated them, and said, this is enough, stop fighting, everybody needs to chill. And then for those who want to racialize it, the white man then steps back in the ring and slaps the black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another black man. So after that, he was met with disproportionate force. For those who want to politicize it, the J.D. Vances and Vivek Ramaswamys and the Bernie Marinos and the Christopher Smithermans and many others who want to politicize it. They have not yet said something that I always hear when a Black person, say, runs from the police and then is met with disproportionate force, sometimes ending their life. What we hear is, well, why did they run? Why didn't they just comply? We hear that every time. But I've yet to hear anybody say, why didn't he just walk away? So let me back up so you understand this. Two combatants, one Black, one white. A Black man steps in, breaks it up. The white guy re-engages, slaps, not the Black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another Black man. And nobody's asking, why didn't he just walk away? And so when I see, and I don't know who else the chief is looking for or CPD is looking for, but when I see the mugshots, I only see people who look like me. I don't see the person who re-engaged, slapped not the initial person, but slapped another Black man. So I don't see the slapper's mugshot. And so sadly, I have to agree with those who are politicizing this and racializing this. I have to agree with the Smithermans, the Ramaswamys, the Marinos, Corey Bowman. This is racial because it is unequal justice. And so until we see all the mugshots, this is still a racial issue. So let me say again to those in Cincinnati, it's Friday night, and we know people like to go out on Friday night. Here's what I would ask. Because of what happened this past weekend, we don't want to see it happen again. Drink responsibly, take care of one another, and everybody get home safe. God bless you.
And we can stop it right there, man. Shout out to the Right Reverend Damon Lynch, who, once again, like Victoria Parks, called it out. That white man re-engaged after Black people tried to break it up and slapped him. And all of the names he called out, the Smithermans, the J.D. Vances, want to racialize it. Yes, it is a racial issue. Like he said, if it was Black people jumping on Black people, there wouldn't be anything said. If it was white people jumping on white people, like my man Preston Graham in Minnesota, like the other guy that got beat up by the white people in the bar, there is no outrage about that. We can go down the list, and I can probably run through 10 stories where Black people have been shot by white people. One neighbor in Minnesota was shot by his white neighbor, and the police waited 6 months to arrest him, talking about they were scared of him because he had mental issues. But you see how quick they rounded those Black people up. You see how quick, I mean, they didn't take no time, and they're still rounding them up while they're talking to the counsel of the man who slapped another man, who initiated violence in that situation. But because he, like the Right Reverend said, got met with disproportionate force, all of a sudden he comes the victim. Man, I mean, you can't make this a caught the brunt of violence and the judicial system. Once Black people stand up against violence, then that's when the judicial system come in. Think about the Red Summers and all of the times that Black people were suffering violence in the 1900s, in the 60s, and the 70s. But soon as Black people started to rise up and inflict that same violence, then the National Guard was called in. The troops was called in. The police were called in to quell the violence of the Blacks. But nobody quells violence when it's white on Black. So, man, I can't believe that. I ain't even gonna call her name. Somebody said I gotta be more professional. But that police chief, how can you? The lady asked her, well, we talked to his counsel and his counsel said no. When does a lawyer get to tell the police when they can make a an arrest. If that's the case, I need that lawyer, and I'm going to go on a robbing spree first thing in the morning. What is that lawyer name? Because that is unheard of, man. That I could not believe it. Like, I literally just watched that news clip, right before I did this video, because I wanted to focus on what our brother was saying, the Right Reverend Damon Lynch. But this overshadowed that. Like, they're just complete obliviousness to justice. If you're going to arrest the 4 black people who reacted to the attack, and you're going to claim violence is not tolerated and every single person will be arrested, but at the same time you're going to say, well, his lawyer said no, so we can't even talk to him. If anybody do not see the racial dynamic in this, or the injustice, or the white supremacist, racist injustice, political, police, economic system in America, I mean, I don't even know what to say no more, man. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. We're going to keep up on this story as it continues to unfold. And basically, they just told us that, nah, we're not going to arrest him. Why? Because his lawyer said so. Peace and blessings, man. Peace and blessings.